just overall engagement of your employees. That's when you start to see some of the true business value of when you're able to hit on many, if not all, of these levers. And so that's how you take something that's very soft and fuzzy, such as making the environment better and making society better, into something that can actually have a brand impact, an impact on your business, either in cost or in increased revenue. So kind of what are the reasons why a company should do corporate responsibility or sustainability? I've kind of developed these 6 reasons of cost savings, innovation, brand differentiation, employee and customer engagement, and kind of long-term thinking. Some of these are kind of have their roots going back to like the early 90s of looking for brand differentiation. So Timberland very much uses its environmental programs as a way to differentiate its brand. McKinsey just did a study that looked at a couple of executives and asked them, why is it that you're doing corporate responsibility, and what are kind of the top reasons why you're doing it? So they found, in terms of cost savings and innovation and differentiation, you see a lot of them responding. Reducing energy reduces costs, and so on. Regulatory was only, just barely half of the reason why most companies do it. Another example is Burt's Bees with their employee engagement strategy. At one point, they got a couple hundred employees at their headquarters and took the garbage dumpsters from their headquarters and just dumped it onto the parking lot and did a waste audit. And went dumpster diving. And they found that just in doing so, they were able to create hundreds of internal advocates to change the headquarters operations and waste management, which is already really good. And we're able to increase or decrease the amount of waste that is created just in the headquarters by half, which actually wound up turning into about a $25,000 cost savings per year. McDonald's is a brand that's just kind of omnipresent. A lot of people don't know that they've actually created a sustainable land management commitment, where their eventual goal is to work with their suppliers over time to source 100% of their products from sustainable and third-party certified sources and legal sources. If you think about it, over the 30 menu items on the McDonald's and all the inputs that go into them, that's quite a tall task. So they worked with the World Wildlife Fund to identify these 5 ingredients as their starting. Looking at beef, palm oil, poultry, coffee, and packaging. So these 6 reasons of why companies should do CSR or sustainability are differentiated from why many companies wind up doing CSR. One of the reasons is it's just the way the company's always been. USG, based here in the West Loop, that's kind of their outlet. This is just how their company was founded to have these deeply ingrained values into the company. Second reason is the CEO has taken an interest. So Walmart is very different now because Mike Duke decided to change the perceptions of the company. Cost overruns are another reason. To have these lights on are very expensive, and so using environment to force kind of an innovation outlook to identify ways to reduce costs is a major reason why companies wind up doing it. Legislation, and then some companies are just forced to do it. So, example, diversity and inclusion practices are often forced because of discrimination lawsuits, and so on. And then just kind of zealous marketers thinking that they can find a differentiation tool and just do greenwashing, where they overpromise some of the benefits of some of their products because to them it seems like an opportunity. And then kind of the 6th category of what I just classify as oops. They make a mistake. So BP is running commercials now about tourism coming into the Gulf Coast. They're a great example. Nike is another example. They had their supply chain, and now they've changed their ways. So what does it come down to and what consumers want? We do a public opinion survey every year, and we ask consumers, a number of questions, but one of them was just, do you believe that companies should try to accomplish their business goals while improving society or the environment, while trying to improve society and the environment? And this past year, 83% agreed with that statement, which is only down, a slight downtick, just outside of the margin of error. And this is kind of a hard statement to disagree with, because of course, but so what we wanted to do is dig down a little bit deeper and try to ask people about, at what point would you consider changing your behavior? So we actually asked people who were employed, at what point would you consider leaving your job? If there were credible evidence in the news that your company employed child sweatshop labor, if there were credible evidence in the news that your company had harmed the environment, or if there were credible evidence that your company gave little or no money to charity, would you consider leaving your job? And so you see the difference here, and child sweatshop labor is just really bad. I mean, people would just right away consider finding another new job. Then it goes down as you go to charity, and I think that kind of does make a little bit of sense. Of our values have evolved to the point where we just now think that child sweatshop labor is just a really bad thing. It wasn't that case in the 1900s, but it's very different now. And whereas charity, maybe people have certain feelings about that, but it's not enough to motivate them to look for new jobs. So one of the three things that I had talked about was that corporate responsibility isn't as easy as black and white. There is a huge gray area in corporate responsibility. And so I saw this one night and just thought it was a really neat example.
Real quick off the top, the long-time viewers of the show know the Daily Show is a pantry of shame. It is home to such delicacies as the pancake wrapped sausage on a stick and Bacon-A's, the bacon-flavored mayonnaise. Well, tonight we have a new inductee, and unlike its predecessors, the problem here is not the food product. I present Del Monte single-serve banana! An individual banana wrapped in plastic. What problem? The people love its redundancy. What problem is that? What function does the bag serve that the peel does not currently serve? A product for people who love bananas but hate their biodegradability? I just ate a banana, but I'm saddened. And there will be no permanent record of that on this episode. The peel will be gone in weeks. No one will know that there once stood Jason Ferguson, destroyer of bananas. I should love it. I'm not saying that this might step on my invention that I've been working on for a very long time, and I present to you the coconut case. Can you see here?
So I saw this, and I was just like, probably many of you, and just wondering, like, what happened here? That makes absolutely no sense. Why would a company spend time to wrap something that's already wrapped in plastic? And it just doesn't work in your head. So I'm a blogger for the Forbes Corporate Social Responsibility blog, and the cool thing about blogging is it's a great marketing tool, and you can really kind of use it as an excuse to pass yourself off as a reporter when really you're not. So I was able to do that, and so I wrote to Del Monte and found the VP of marketing, and was able to interview him just through email. And I just asked him, because I saw this, and I'm like, this is just such bad corporate decision making. There's got to be a reason behind this that had to make sense to somebody. So his name was Dionysius Christou, which is like the coolest name ever. And so I interviewed him, and he had a couple of points that I thought were interesting. One is he said that in the UK, where this is being piloted, over 12 million bananas are sent to the landfills every year. And in doing so, there's a lot of carbon emissions that come from the trucking of those bananas from the site that they're discarding to the